In relationships, we often hear the phrase, "The one who runs is chased." But how true is it really? People sometimes take this saying as a rule and develop strategies to win over the other person. However, acting without understanding the psychology behind it can tire both ourselves and the other person. Understanding these dynamics in relationships can strengthen both your emotional intelligence and your relationship management skills. The run and chase rule is basically based on the idea that when a person acts distant or indifferent, the other person starts showing more interest. This often happens consciously or unconsciously. Psychologically speaking, people tend to try to regain something that is lost. Behind this behavior lies the tendency to desire what is scarce or hard to reach. The human brain's reward and motivation systems encourage more effort toward what is difficult to obtain. In relationships, the lack of attention, distance, or avoidance by the other person sometimes triggers the desire to chase. The critical point here is to read the runner's intentions correctly. Sometimes, distance is a way of setting boundaries or self-protection, which can be misinterpreted if the other person becomes impatient. Therefore, when applying this rule, it is important to analyze the other person's behavior carefully. A wrong interpretation can disrupt the balance of the relationship and drain your energy. To understand the run and chase rule, we must first look at our own behavior. People generally feel valued when they receive attention, but excessive attention and expectation can overwhelm the other person. Here, finding the balance is crucial. Respecting the other person's space allows you to create natural interest rather than just chasing them. Additionally, psychological research shows that people are more drawn to difficult-to-reach goals. Therefore, in relationships, the runner may create a perception of value. However, it is important to note that this perceived value may come from scarcity or mystery rather than genuine emotional depth. Chasing the other person might provide temporary satisfaction, but it is not enough to establish a healthy long-term relationship. Being aware of your own value is also very important when applying this rule. People who know their worth and are confident tend to form healthier connections. Instead of using chasing tactics, maintaining boundaries and communicating healthily protects both your and the other person's emotional well-being. Understanding this rule does not mean playing games, manipulating, or pressuring someone. The key is to read the other person's behavior accurately and keep your actions balanced. When understood correctly, the psychology behind run and chase maintains balance in the relationship. When misunderstood, it can make the relationship exhausting and stressful. Now take a step back and think. When the other person distances themselves, do you naturally show more attention or do you consciously start chasing them? This difference is the first step to creating a healthy balance in your relationship. So, what are the ways to apply this rule correctly? In Part 2, we will explore this in detail and show you practical and psychological tips on how to manage this dynamic in relationships. Remember, relating what you learn in this video to your own experiences will make it much more meaningful. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. In Part 1, we explored the psychological foundations and risks of the run and chase rule. Now it's time to dive deeper into how to apply this rule in a healthy and constructive way. Maintaining balance in a relationship starts with understanding your own value and building self-confidence. A confident person doesn't drain their energy over the other person's distance. Instead, they observe, analyze, and act strategically, creating an environment where natural attraction and respect thrive. The first step in using the run and chase rule effectively is accurately reading the other person's behavior. People sometimes create distance not to play games, but to establish boundaries or protect themselves emotionally. Misreading these signals can lead to excessive attention, pressure, or frustration, all of which can destabilize a relationship. By carefully observing body language, communication patterns, and timing, you can better understand whether the distance is temporary, a personal need, or a sign of disinterest. Maintaining balance in your own behavior is equally critical. The run-and-chase dynamic works best when approached with emotional intelligence. Over-pursuit or manipulative strategies rarely foster trust or long-term connection. Instead, show genuine interest, maintain natural curiosity, and give space where needed. This creates a sense of autonomy and attraction rather than dependency or pressure. Remember, healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, not on one person chasing another to the point of exhaustion. Psychological research highlights that humans are drawn to goals that are challenging or hard to reach. This is why the runner in a relationship can create a perception of higher value or desirability. Yet, the key is to transform this initial attraction into a meaningful, emotionally connected bond rather than a fleeting chase. Honest communication, empathy, and transparency serve as pillars for achieving this transformation. A relationship grounded in understanding and mutual respect is far more sustainable than one based purely on the thrill of pursuit. Another important aspect is emotional self-awareness. Recognizing your own needs, triggers, and boundaries allows you to navigate the chase without losing yourself. Take time to reflect. Are you reacting out of genuine interest, fear of loss, or ego? Differentiating. These motivations can prevent unnecessary stress and disappointment. Moreover, investing in your own personal growth, hobbies, and social life reduces overdependence on the relationship dynamic and creates a more attractive, balanced presence. Practical steps for applying the run-and-chase principle effectively include: observe the other person's behavior carefully and avoid assumptions. Respect their personal space while maintaining consistent, genuine interest. Focus on your own life, passions, and emotional well-being. Communicate openly, honestly, and assertively without pressure. Recognize the difference between playful pursuit and unhealthy obsession. It's also worth noting that timing plays a crucial role. Sometimes, stepping back temporarily allows the other person to reflect on their own feelings and realize their interest organically. However, patience should not turn into passivity. Engage when appropriate, withdraw when needed, and maintain a sense of rhythm that encourages natural attraction rather than forced closeness. Over time, successfully navigating the run-and-chase dynamic can teach valuable life lessons. You learn patience, empathy, emotional regulation, and strategic thinking. These skills are not only useful in romantic relationships, but in professional and social contexts as well. Understanding when to step forward, when to step back, and how to manage energy effectively can transform interactions across the board. Finally, the run-and-chase rule is not a magic formula. It's a psychological insight. When applied correctly, it fosters balance, attraction, and mutual respect. When misapplied, it can cause stress, anxiety, and a breakdown in communication. The goal is not to manipulate, but to understand and respond in a way that strengthens the relationship and respects both parties' emotional needs. So now ask yourself, have you experienced the dynamics of chasing and being chased in your past relationships? How did you respond, and what did you learn about yourself? Share your experiences in the comments. Your insights may help others see patterns they didn't notice before. And don't forget, if you enjoy this type of psychology content, subscribe and turn on notifications. This way, you'll be the first to explore more insights on relationships, human behavior, and emotional intelligence.